I get to sit at a table with all these really cool, talented people.
Right, so shall we start? Okay. I guess we'll start with this.
Nice to meet you guys. My name is Tier Artemis, but my real name is Dallas Tucker. If you don't call it on my stage name, that's great. Anyway, I'm a TikToker and I'm a part-time helmet maker, and I love all these guys, hang out with them, lust after them, because they're all fantastic people, and I'm really, really happy to be here.
Hey there guys, my name is Sparta Green Ranger on all my socials, but my real name is Justin Blomgren. I know that's a weird last name. Please forgive me, it's what I was born with.
Hi, I'm Beauty Bob Yaga. My real name is James McGee Moore, although Beauty and Bob Yaga are each on my birth certificate. I have 11 middle names. I'm a content creator on TikTok. I'm a very recent Power Rangers fan. TikTok got me involved in the community and I'm obsessed now. I've been cosplaying for, forever. I started when I was like 4. I do a lot of cosplay builds. I make content about, fan theories, and I just like to find little comparisons between the characters.
Favorite Ranger, favorite season?
I'm not good at favorites. My favorite Rangers are Wes Cullens, Izzy Garcia, and Zoe Reeves. My favorite season is Dino Charge.
Nice.
How are you guys? My name is Patrick Sky. I am a cosplayer out of the East Coast. I have been cosplaying actively for 10 plus years in the community. Cos actor, storyteller, current writer for new series Rise of the Dragon, which is inspired by the 2017 film.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dallas Tucker. Already introduced myself. Anyway, mainly what I wanted to do is when I started TikTok back in 2019, I knew that people told me my gift is I take a complicated subject and I can cram it down into where it's understandable. So I knew I wanted to do lore type of videos, and I wanted to do Power Rangers. So I started doing that, and as it started to pick up, I started getting more involved with the fan series. And I realized that these guys, they don't have like a marketing budget. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to start using the platform I started gaining to boost these guys, because to me, it's very inspiring for people like Ivan, Patrick, JP, a lot of these guys that have done just fan series, that they need more attention, this type of gift and just talent. They really need more of a platform, so I wanted to just do what I could to boost it. And Unworthy and Power Rangers Shattered Past and Hybrids and a lot of those guys, they jumped on the bandwagon too, and they started contacting me. They said, hey, would you promote this too? And that's one thing I really like doing, is I like working with the fan series and just helping them out any way I can. And recently what I started doing is I started making 3D printed helmets, and that's become a big hobby of mine. And I just really respect all these people and their creativity. They're really amazing, and I'm inspired by all of them, and really honored to be here.
This man is just beautiful, is he not?
Yes, he is.
But as I already introduced myself, I am Sparta Green Ranger on most of my socials, all of my socials actually. But I started off actually kind of on TikTok as just a guy who was trying to promote his business, trying to make his way in the world, talk about comic books and make funny little skits. Me and Beauty were actually kind of laughing about it and going through my old reels of TikToks back last night. And it kind of shifted after I kind of let that go, and I started focusing back on my passion, which was Power Rangers. I started seeing all these people that I really enjoyed talking to, and we all got together, and I kind of threw this idea together for this custom Ranger, and everybody's like, you got to bring this thing to life. And I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'm pretty efficient with using a 3D printer and doing foam craft and things like that, and it kind of fell together in the first kind of few months, and I didn't realize I was going to get blown up as I did with it. So I do believe in imposter syndrome, and sitting up here with a panel of giants, in my opinion, being the humble guy, it's been just a blessing to me. But being able to bring this character to life in a cosplay sense has been fantastic, and just the outpouring has been so good. And it's enough that I can actually tell you guys, I have exclusively for this panel, and for everybody to know, I have started pre-writing a script for the origin story of the Green Dragon Knight that will be starting filming in summer 2026.
Awesome.
I'm looking at about an hour-long feature film for YouTube, and I will be starting to do casting calls soon. Okay, so I will be looking for a team of Rangers and other actors for villains, so we can bring this character to a full light in an hour-long preview.
Good job, man. Good job.
Okay, let's go.
Can I have a part?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
There's the audition process. Like I said, I'm Beauty Bob Yaga. That's my social media handle on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Fashion is really my big passion in life. It's what makes me happy. I like to put together a costume. I like to create something that's interesting and colors that go together and shapes and stuff. So I've been doing that for quite some time. I started an Instagram specifically for that probably about, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And I just post pictures of like the outfits I put together every day. And it's gotten to the point that everyone in my friend group just brings me clothing. They're just like, hey, I found this. I thought it was weird. And I'm like, thanks. So I started TikTok in the pandemic, obviously, because I was bored. And I was trying to come up with video content to make, because obviously the photos don't really transition to TikTok. And I had made a couple Power Rangers videos because it was a big passion of mine, but I didn't make a lot of them for my Instagram because no one who followed me on Instagram knew what Power Rangers was. So I just reposted one of those to my TikTok, and it got a lot of attention. It was one where I talked about Alex from Time Force getting blown up, and I'm like, I've never seen anyone more literally get blown up. Like that, he literally got blown up. And that video got like 4,000 views, so then I posted one about the stupid bird hieroglyphics in Dino Thunder and how it's just literally all birds. And I'm like, this is just lazy prop making. Yeah, that's how I met Tyr.
I followed her from the shirt ripping stuff that was going on. Like every Wild Force, I guess his shirt had to come off. So
Yes, his shirt must be off in varying degrees throughout the entire Wild Force season.
I mean, it's not a bad thing.
Anyway, it got a really good response, and I suddenly realized that there was actually a community of other people who watched Power Rangers and knew things about it, who I could say things without giving them a detailed background about what the hell I was saying, and they would know what I was talking about, and that was really exciting. So I got started. I do cosplay videos. I do fan theory stuff because I like to goof around with fan theories, but I also do like a lot of things where I explain stuff like, what are all the morphers from every season, or who are all the Purple Rangers, or how does this character's plot carry through these multiple seasons? And people apparently like listening to me explain things, so I've been very successful in that regard.
Wait, we got a few Purple Rangers?
We have two.
Oh yeah, we do.
You didn't? Is that a serious question?
No.
Okay. I just question our friendship.
My question
I'm glad there's
is,
a cover on for these tables.
what's the biggest thing about Super Sentai that you think certain people in the fandom don't know and need to know?
All right. That's
Oh,
good.
touchy
It's coming off
subject. Coming off the cuff.
Anybody?
Yeah.
I guess because I'm the suit guy, so I can tell you that the suits are always different. So if you ever watch the American, like if you watch Mighty Morphin, you can distinctly tell like what is the Japanese suits because they are a lot more shinier than the ones that they use on the show. Because like on Mighty Morphin, they didn't have like what I have. They didn't have a budget, so it's like they used what they got. Like they went to California and they just got spandex and they put it all together because those suits were borrowed, and a guy like Austin St. John isn't going to fit in a tiny Japanese suit. So that's one thing, they were just borrowing it.
That's why we have poofy necks.
Some seasons have a lot like White Ranger, Kiba Ranger's appearance. Like what he does, he's riding a skateboard and uses his powers to see girls in his underwear. So,
It's like starting to rip his White Ranger shield off. Like,
it's
all right,
that's
I'm like,
not Tommy.
God. Pick the wrong suit to wear for this panel.
Saban.
Saban.
I watched that one and I was like obsessed with it, but when I was talking to him, he told me that he really liked that
Saban's a
one.
bad word here.
So,
Saban's a bad word here.
like, I'm just dreaming because I love the movie, but like,
Yeah.
how did y'all feel about the film? Like,
Oh, that's
Are you,
fair.
which one? The
I think she's talking about Saban's
the
Power
2017 or?
Oh,
The what?
2017.
Well, my thoughts on it, I really enjoyed the more mature storytelling. I'm going to say, definitely enjoyed that they treated the characters like actual teenagers and then acted like actual teenagers rather than 4-year-olds. There wasn't enough Power Rangers in there. If it wasn't a Power Rangers movie, I think that this is one of the best movies of that summer.
One thing I really liked about the movie was the character development. I thought they did a very good job spending a lot of time where you felt your heart, you really connected with each one of the Rangers. And the only thing I really didn't like about it was the Megazord style and Goldar style, how they looked very similar and they completely deviated from what we're familiar with. But I mean, for an Elseworld, different universe type of story, I really liked it.
I'm actually, storyline wise, a big fan of 2017. Every time this questions came to me in a live, a panel, I loved the film. I have just been one of those ones that the suits I thought were fantastic. But I think the helmets could have been done a little bit differently to tie us more back into a classic thing. And I agree with Tier 100%. The Zord battles, if they would have made a little bit more truer to a Zord type thing, and Goldar being a little bit more towards Goldar, I think it would have been probably one of the biggest blockbusters of the summer.
Everyone said this. The story is good. It's the nostalgia that got them. People were disappointed. I think it's brilliant that they have, since Rita starts out with the green power coin in the show, to have her be an evil Green Ranger. I thought that was genius. And technically, the 2017 movie is not canonical with the show because it's an alternate universe, but still, that's our first queer Power Ranger and our first Spectrum Power Ranger, which fucking representation. Am I allowed to curse if it's PG-13?
I think we're allowed 2 bad words and
Okay.
1 really bad word.
Too bad.
Yeah.
What's a really bad word?
Well, we just
No, I used the second one. Sorry, I used the second one before you do it.
Anyway, my biggest complaint about the movie is one of my favorite things about Power Rangers is the non-morph fight sequences, because they use a lot of the Japanese footage to do the main fight scenes, so they want the actors they've hired to actually get some fight scenes, so they do stuff in their civilian clothes, and that's kind of a fun, playful aspect of the show. They do a lot of interacting with their surroundings, using found objects as weapons. It's very much like Jackie Chan movies, just a fun martial arts kind of thing. And I feel even though this movie really wanted to save the morph sequence for the end, they could have had some skirmishes earlier in the movie where they're fighting in civilian form. And I think that would have just picked up the pace a little bit and kept it a little more entertaining. And then you wouldn't be disappointed at the end when they morph for the first time, because you would have already got some action.
I loved the film. It was a completely different take from Mighty Morphin. I know a lot of fans wanted more from Mighty Morphin, but we had Netflix at the time to go back and watch Mighty Morphin. This was a completely different take. It was to introduce new fans while also bringing in the older classic fans to it, because now we're 30 years into the legacy. We have 3 generations of Power Rangers to introduce to. So to me, it was all about representation and bringing in a new generation of fans to that. And was it a little more mature tone? Absolutely. We're in a different time now than what Angel Grove was in 1993. To have that, I absolutely love the film. Was it perfect? I didn't like Goldar, 100%. Goldar, to me, is a top-tier villain that should have had a reoccurring role along with Rita or Lord Zed down the line, versus kind of like a kaiju type of one-and-done monster, which I did want to see him reoccurring. The morph sequence, I know that was a little different take, but the plan was to evolve it and incorporate the future
I love the morph sequence
into it.
The nanite type thing, that was
Nanites,
fantastic.
I enjoyed as a progression too. Maybe Billy would have been the one to help Alpha tweak the morphers on condensing them into the morphers, and the morphers coming in like nanobites, similar to Spider-Man Unlimited, how the nanites came out of the morphers themselves for it. It came out at Bad Weekend. It didn't do so well in China. It came out 3 months after it came out in the US, and it went against live action Beauty and the Beast, but the audience score was higher than what it was rated. And that tells enough that the film was well received by fans. So I think it should have got a green sequel, pun intended, for a Green Ranger for the next film. But hopefully, through my comic Rise of the Dragon, if you guys are interested in picking it up, they'll add a little more flavor to what could have been if we would have got that sequel for it. So feel free to check it out.
What are your thoughts on the Magna Defender? And is he a sixth ranger or
He's-
not?
Oh, he's a ranger ally.
It's debatable.
I would consider him an ally, just as the Phantom Ranger in Turbo. I don't consider him a sixth ranger. I consider him an ally, and the same as well with the Centurion Ranger as well in Turbo. Those Blue Centurion, those are allies. I wouldn't consider him a sixth or a seventh, but you're still a part of the team, no matter what. You're still a part of the team.
Well, Man Defender, though, technically, he's morphing into somebody's exoskin.
Okay. Bringing up sass about Tommy Oliver is the most, like, aggressively divisive thing in the community that is actually, like, you will block people over that conversation. This is second place, okay? This is, I wouldn't block somebody over it, but I never want to talk about it again. Which is why I have made a video saying, can we all just agree it's debatable? Like, straight up. James's opinion, he is a Ranger ally. He's an alien, he has an exoskeleton. He gives his exoskeleton to Mike after he dies, okay? He's not a Power Ranger. Anyway, we shouldn't talk about it. You look awesome, by the way.
He does look fantastic. I'm always a fan of a guy in green. So, but yes, he is a Ranger ally. He does morph, but he is morphing into somebody's exoskeleton. But I have to say, this is the most argued topic next to the blocking people because of their opinions on Megaforce and Super Megaforce. I never thought I would have this conversation this many times past that series, but when it comes to just an opinion, he's a Ranger ally, and I think it's not just me. I think even Ranger Wiki kind of confirms at the end.
It's debatable.
Here we go.
No. Oh God.
Here we go again.
We're all losing
First of all,
followers right
okay,
now.
Our lore master
Where's
here
the
does.
doors at? All right. First of all,
Exit sign.
I'm going to call him a Ranger. I'm going to go with the Mike corporate side. And I'm going to call him a Ranger.
More for your ranger.
Boy, I think I'm eating by myself today.
I don't kind of care. I'm more of a story guy.
Thank you.
I care about more. I want to debate if a character is a good character, had the best story. I don't want to sit up here and debate what number you came in. That's kind of a waste of time and breath. Life is too short to be arguing about something like that.
Okay, well, I'm still gonna argue about it. But
Yeah!
you brought up a good point though about the Solar Rangers. So I would say it like this. Now, my opinion would be, yeah, he really wasn't a Ranger to me. I was thinking, yeah, an ally because, yeah, you know, with Magna Defender and his kid. Okay, so they were just like that. They never like took it out. I always thought it was like armor, like what is it?
Mandalorian?
Yeah, like it passed down, like, or it had a sentient armor. What was it? I think in Udo Soldier, the Knight or Void Knight kind of does that.
Yeah, Guy
Solos. It just goes in, like the armor just becomes the person. So that's what I thought. Because when Mike became a Ranger, I was like, okay, yeah, cool. He has a morpher though. But in Sentai, he just had the sword, and then he just changed. That's how he changed it too.
As the Cat Ranger. Orange or white? White. White.
Why are you doing this to us?
Yeah, we're going
Okay? You're dying. You're dying.
We can all agree that she was awesome.
Yeah. And can we talk about all the badass females that literally didn't need anybody to create all this? Like Miss Fairweather and Cat Max, like they had it down. Like Miss Fairweather created all the stuff that was going on. Meanwhile, Captain Mission was like, "Oh, Rangers, go over there."
I really wish, and now bringing the whole Ranger thing, I really wish Miss Fairweather would have created her own suit and just become a.
Back to when with the comment of like the Rangers and like are they a Ranger if they have morpher or not? He mentions how the Alien Rangers also do not have morphers. They're considered Rangers.
Can we get a definition on drippy?
I'll take that one. Yeah, TJ, that's my guy. And I gotta agree, man. TJ is drippy. He's the man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like TJ is like one of the like top 5 Red Rangers overall because it was just not just that, like what you were saying, but just overall, like he took that leadership, and not to downplay Tommy or anything, but it was like out of all the Rangers that were, you know, that they passed the torch, like that was a great decision.
Shout out to the Dago assistant.
She asked Beauty, what did you do to make your costume?
Oh, that's such a good question. This costume is made out of a bunch of trash that I shoved together and spray painted. No.
It's not trash.
So the waist bit attached to the belt, I bought a belt online, and then I don't know if you've seen someone make a pattern for their own corset by using saran wrap and duct tape. Yeah. So I did that to create a form-fitting shape to fit around my like chest and hip area. So this is duct tape, and then I've got some really thin EVA foam to create the layered pattern on it, and I Velcroed it to the inside of the belt, and then I made the belt buckle out of EVA foam with just paint. This shoulder bit, I used a dragon shield that I already had as a pattern because I knew that it fit me. I actually am going to post a TikTok about this today. So see more on TikTok today. And I ended up making a fabric base. I used hot glue for some of the more detailed pattern work. I used some EVA foam for like the bigger bits. And then I colored it accordingly. It actually like opens in the front. Some of the ridges pop up, and then there's like a Velcro bit in the front. And then most of the other, well, I made the gauntlets out of foam too. But most of the other stuff I bought. I don't like to do more work than I have to with a cosplay. So I bought leggings and a dress and boots. So that I wouldn't have to make that stuff from scratch. And then I just added the, you know, bits and bobs made out of whatever worked, really. Whatever got me the shape, that's how I roll.
Awesome.
I bet you're wondering how I made my Cosmic Fury chest shield. Here's a video. I started with this dragon shield I already had, which I knew fit me, and with this end of a roll of newsprint from my local newspaper, I traced the dragon shield to make this pattern, which I cut out of this durable fabric that I got at my local Joann. I sewed it together and ended up with this, which has a Velcro front and a little bit of boning to hold the shoulders up. Then I added hot glue to the front to get, and I realized I forgot to film some of the process, but this is the part I built with hot glue, and I painted it cold, and then I used EVA foam to cut out these ridges, which I spray painted silver with whatcha! This brand of silver spray paint that I had never used before that turned out to be a little more like sparkly, which made it kind of tackier, especially drying in this humid environment. So then when I glued them to the fabric with this E6000 glue, my cutting board, which I used as an even weighted surface, then the drying spray paint acted as essentially a glue and glued the entire armor to the other side of my cutting board. So that's why it has these little imperfections on it. Now I'm going to go at it with a different brand of silver spray paint and some hot glue to get this. I'm honestly really happy with it. Can I do better? Yes. Will I do better in the future? Man, I'd like to say yes, but I'm probably just not going to make another one. One is good enough. There will be no Mark II. I'm way too lazy for that. But I like it.
What got you into cosplay?
My wife.
Poison Ivy.
She did.
I take that credit. Poison Ivy.
Well, it's pretty obvious. I didn't just like being in spandex.
What got me into cosplay over 10 years ago, I just went to my first Comic-Con in New York and I said, oh, my people. So I saw that everyone was dressing up and it was a very common place and mutual place where everyone could just be themselves. And I said, you know what? I wanted to cosplay, and I think the very first suit, Ranger suit that I did was a 1995 Power Ranger movie, Green Ranger style of the 95 suits. And then it was featured on MTV, and then I was like, oh, okay, let's make this a thing. And the biggest thing, I think the biggest thing for me was the next day I had cosplayed as Green Arrow from Smallville at the time, and I was leaving the show, and there was somebody in the corner that was kind of discouraged and upset. I guess they had a bad experience that day. And she saw me as Green Arrow, and she smiled. She got uplifted, and she was like, you're my favorite character on Smallville, and that just made my whole day better. So that little one smile can change someone's whole day. So that just became a thing that if you can make one person smile, then everything else is all worth it.
I love that answer.
I just wanted to be a Power Ranger.
Just a big thank you to everybody who showed up for our panel.